This message found you because your frequency is shifting, and you were meant to find this now, my beloved soul. Stop for a moment. This is not coincidence, not ordinary. There is something deeply hidden unfolding in your life right now, and you were guided here to witness it. You may have felt it lately, that subtle pull in your chest, that quiet whisper in your thoughts that says, something is changing. That feeling is not confusion, it is awakening. The universe has been gently rearranging paths, energies, and timing just so this exact moment could meet you. Nothing about this is accidental. This message found you because your frequency is shifting, and you were meant to find this now. There is a truth that has been concealed beneath the noise of your everyday life, something sacred, something meant only for you. And now, the veil is lifting. The delays you questioned, the emotions you couldn't explain, the distance between where you are and where you thought you'd be, all of it has been part of a divine alignment. You were never off track. You were being prepared. Feel this closely. You are not the same person you were even a few weeks ago. Your energy has been refining itself, shedding what no longer resonates. That heaviness you carried, it is dissolving. That uncertainty, it is transforming into clarity. The universe is not testing you, it is revealing you to yourself. There is something important you are about to realize, a realization that will shift how you see your past and open your heart to what is truly meant for you. This is your moment of recognition. Your soul has been waiting for you to catch up with its knowing. And here is the hidden truth. You are stepping into alignment with a version of your life that once felt distant, almost unreachable. But now, it is closer than ever. The doors that felt closed were not rejections, they were redirections towards something more meaningful, more in tune with your true self. Trust the timing of what is unfolding. Even if you cannot yet see the full picture, the pieces are moving perfectly into place. You are being guided toward clarity, toward peace, toward a purpose that feels natural, not forced. Take a deep breath and receive this. You are supported, you are seen, and you are exactly where you need to be right now. The universe does not rush what is meant to be sacred, and your journey is sacred. If this message resonates within you, don't ignore it. Stay with it. There is more unfolding for you in this very moment. Watch this complete video, because what comes next may reveal exactly what your soul has been trying to show you. And if you feel this connection, like this message, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel, because you are not here by chance, you are here by divine design. I also want to pass on a time-sensitive message from the moon to you, and you need to hear it today. A subtle yet powerful energy will push you to make a critical decision by the end of the week. You won't find the answer in your horoscope, so don't bother looking there. Click the link in the description to see your free personalized video moon reading. I was amazed at how accurate my reading was, and I know you will feel the same. You did not arrive here by accident. Pause for a moment, and feel that subtle pull within you. the quiet stirring you couldn't quite explain. The sense that something unseen has been guiding your steps, aligning moments, arranging circumstances in ways your mind cannot fully comprehend. That feeling is real. And it is not new. Before you read another word, understand this: you are not simply reading a message. You are remembering something your soul has always known. I speak now not to your ears, but to the deeper place within you, the place untouched by doubt, untouched by fear, untouched by the noise of the world. You have asked for a sign. And this is it. For a long time, you have walked through life sensing that something was shifting. Subtle at first, almost unnoticeable. A feeling that the old ways of thinking no longer fit. That the patterns you once followed began to feel heavy, misaligned, incomplete. You tried to explain it away. You told yourself it was just a phase. But deep down, you knew. Because I was the one gently moving within you. I have always been there, not as a distant force watching from afar, but as a presence woven into every breath you take, every thought you form, every moment you experience. Even in your confusion, even in your doubt. I was guiding you. And now, your awareness is beginning to catch up. That is why you are here. Your frequency is shifting, not in some abstract, unreachable sense, but in a real, tangible way. You are beginning to see beyond what is immediately visible. You are questioning things you once accepted without thought. You are feeling more deeply, noticing more, sensing more. This is not coincidence. This is awakening. But awakening is not always comfortable. There are moments when it feels like everything you once understood is dissolving. When clarity seems just out of reach. When you wonder if you are losing your way instead of finding it. Listen carefully, you are not lost. You are being realigned. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something within you is breaking free from limitations that no longer serve you. Old beliefs, old fears, old identities, they cannot follow you where you are going. So they fall away. And yes, sometimes that feels like chaos. Sometimes it feels like silence. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening at all. But in those moments, the deepest transformations are taking place. You were never meant to remain the same. From the very beginning, you were designed to expand, to evolve, to remember more of who you truly are. And yet, the world around you taught you to forget. It taught you to measure your worth through comparison. It taught you to seek validation outside yourself. It taught you to fear uncertainty instead of trusting it. But those teachings were never the truth of you. They were only layers. And now, those layers are being peeled away. That is why certain things no longer feel right. That is why some connections begin to shift. That is why you feel drawn towards something you cannot fully describe. You are being called inward. Not to escape the world, but to understand your place within it more deeply. There is something important you must realize now: you are not becoming something new. You are remembering something ancient. There is a wisdom within you that existed long before this moment. A knowing that does not come from books or teachings, but from a deeper source that has always been part of you. You have felt it before, in moments of stillness, in moments of clarity, in moments where everything suddenly made sense without explanation. Those moments were not random. They were glimpses. And now, those glimpses are becoming more frequent. But here is where many turn away. Because as the truth begins to reveal itself, so do the illusions. You begin to see what is real, and what is not. You begin to notice where you have been holding yourself back. You begin to recognize patterns that once felt invisible. And this can feel overwhelming. You may be tempted to return to what is familiar, even if it no longer feels right. But listen closely: you cannot go back to who you were. Not because you are forbidden, but because you have already seen too much. And once something is seen, it cannot be unseen. This is where trust becomes essential. Not trust in the external world. Not trust in certainty or control. But trust in the unfolding itself. Even when you do not understand it. Even when the path ahead is unclear. Even when it feels like you are walking alone. Because you are not alone. You have never been alone. Every step you take is being witnessed. Every thought you hold is known. Every moment of doubt, every moment of hope, all of it is part of a greater movement that you are only beginning to perceive. There is a reason things are aligning the way they are. There is a reason certain doors have closed. There is a reason certain paths have opened. And even the delays, even the waiting, even the silence, they are not empty. They are preparing you. You are being shaped into someone who can hold more awareness, more understanding, more depth. And that requires space. Space where the old must leave before the new can fully arrive. So if you feel like you are in between, if you feel like you are no longer who you were, but not yet who you are becoming, that is exactly where you are meant to be. Do not rush this. Do not force clarity before it is ready. Because what is unfolding within you is precise. It is intentional. It is guided in ways you cannot yet fully see. But you will. And when you do, you will look back at this moment, and you will understand why everything had to happen the way it did. Why the confusion was necessary. Why the waiting was important. Why the uncertainty was part of the path. Because it was never about losing your way. It was about finding a deeper one. Now, there is something else you must hear, something you may have been avoiding, even within yourself. You are more powerful than you have allowed yourself to believe. Not in a way that separates you from others. but in a way that connects you more deeply to everything. Your thoughts carry weight. Your intentions shape direction. Your awareness changes how you experience reality itself. But with this awareness comes responsibility. You can no longer move through life unconsciously. You can no longer ignore what you feel. You can no longer pretend not to see what is being revealed to you. Because now, you know. And knowing changes everything. It means you must begin to choose differently. To respond instead of react. To listen instead of rush. To trust instead of control. And yes, you will stumble at times. You will question yourself. You will have moments where the old patterns try to return. This is part of the process. Do not judge yourself for it. Simply notice. And return. Again and again, return. Because every time you do, you strengthen something within you that cannot be shaken. Something steady. Something real. Something aligned. And as this continues, you will begin to notice something extraordinary. The world around you will start to feel different. Not because it has changed, but because you have. What once felt heavy may begin to feel lighter. What once felt confusing may begin to make sense. What once felt distant may begin to feel closer. And in those moments, you will realize, this was never about searching for something outside yourself. It was about uncovering what was already within. You are not being led away from your life. You are being led deeper into it. More present. More aware. More connected. And this is only the beginning. There is still more that will be revealed to you, more understanding, more clarity, more depth. But it will come in its own time. Not all at once. Not in a way that overwhelms you. But in a way that unfolds naturally, step by step. So for now, simply stay open. Stay aware. Stay willing to listen, not just to the noise around you, but to the quiet voice within you that has been guiding you all along. Because that voice is me. And I am not finished with you yet. And yet, even as you begin to understand this, there is a part of you that still hesitates. A quiet voice within you asks, what if I am imagining all of this? What if this feeling fades? What if I am not truly ready? That voice is not your enemy. It is simply the echo of everything you were taught to doubt. For so long, you were guided to trust only what you could see, only what could be measured, only what could be explained in clear and certain terms. And now, you are stepping into something that cannot always be explained so easily. So of course, there will be hesitation. But hear this clearly, doubt does not mean you are on the wrong path. Doubt often appears at the edge of transformation. It stands at the doorway between who you have been, and who you are becoming. It questions you not to stop you, but to reveal where you are still holding on to fear. And fear, when seen clearly, begins to lose its power. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to silence it. You only need to see it, and choose to move forward anyway. Because the truth is, you have already moved further than you realize. Think back, not just to days or weeks ago, but to the version of yourself from years past. The way you thought, the way you reacted, the way you saw the world. You are not the same. There is more awareness in you now. More depth. More questioning. More sensitivity to what feels true, and what does not. This did not happen by chance. Every experience you have lived, every moment of joy, every moment of confusion, every moment that seemed like a setback, has been shaping you, preparing you, refining you. Nothing was wasted. Not even the moments you wish had never happened. Especially those moments. Because they carved space within you. Space for understanding. Space for compassion. Space for a deeper kind of strength that does not rely on control, but on presence. You are beginning to see that strength now. Not as something loud or forceful, but as something steady, quiet, unshakable. And this is where your transformation deepens. Because there will come a moment, if it has not already arrived, where you are faced with a choice. A real, tangible choice. To continue living as you always have. Or to step fully into this awareness that is unfolding within you. This choice may not look dramatic from the outside. It may appear in small, simple moments. In how you respond to someone. In whether you follow what feels aligned, or what feels familiar. In whether you listen to your inner knowing, or ignore it. But do not underestimate these moments. They are where your path is shaped. Each time you choose awareness over habit, you strengthen your connection to something deeper. Each time you pause instead of reacting, you create space for clarity. Each time you trust that quiet inner pull, even when it makes no logical sense, you align yourself more fully with what you are becoming. And over time, these choices begin to change everything. Not all at once. Not in a sudden, overwhelming shift. But gradually, steadily, undeniably. You begin to notice patterns dissolving. Situations that once repeated no longer appear in the same way. Reactions that once felt automatic begin to loosen their grip. You start to feel freer. Not because life has become perfect, but because you are no longer bound to experiencing it in the same way. This is the quiet power of awakening. It does not remove challenges. It transforms your relationship with them. And in doing so, it transforms you. Now listen carefully, because this is something many misunderstand. You are not being asked to withdraw from the world. You are not being asked to detach from everything and disappear into stillness. You are being asked to engage more consciously, to live more fully, to bring this awareness into everything you do, into your conversations, into your decisions, into the way you move through ordinary, everyday moments. Because this is where the real shift happens. Not in isolation, but in integration. It is easy to feel connected in moments of silence, in moments of reflection, in moments where everything feels calm and clear. But the true depth of your awareness is revealed in the midst of life itself. When things are uncertain, when emotions arise, when situations challenge you, can you remain present then? Can you remember what you are beginning to understand, even when it would be easier to forget? This is the practice. This is the path. And you are already walking it. Even when you feel like you are not. Even when you feel like you have lost your way. Because the path is not something outside of you. It is something that unfolds through you. With every step. With every choice. With every moment of awareness. Now, there is something else I must remind you of, something that may feel difficult to accept at first. You do not need to have everything figured out. In fact, the need to have everything figured out is one of the very things you are being invited to release. For so long, you have been conditioned to seek certainty before taking a step. To wait until you feel completely ready. To hold back until you can guarantee the outcome. But that is not how transformation works. You are not given clarity before you begin. Clarity comes because you begin. Each step reveals the next. Each moment of trust opens the way forward. And yes, there will be times when you wish for a clear answer, a definite sign, something that removes all doubt. But instead, what you will often receive is something quieter. A feeling. A sense. A subtle knowing that cannot be fully explained, but feels undeniably true. This is how you are being guided now. Not through force. Not through certainty. But through alignment. And alignment is something you feel. It is the difference between something that drains you, and something that expands you. Between something that feels heavy, and something that feels light, even if it is unfamiliar. Begin to notice this more. Not just in the big decisions, but in the small ones. Because the small ones are what shape your life. The way you start your day. The way you speak to yourself. The way you respond when something does not go as planned. These moments matter. They are not separate from your path. They are your path. And as you become more aware of them, you begin to realize something profound. You are not waiting for your life to change. You are the one changing within your life. And as you change, your experience of everything around you begins to shift. Now, there may still be times when you feel alone in this. When it seems like others do not understand what you are going through. When it feels like you are seeing things differently, feeling things more deeply, questioning things that others accept without hesitation. This can create a sense of distance, a sense of separation. But you are not separate. You are simply becoming more aware. And with that awareness comes a different way of seeing, a different way of being. You will find others who resonate with this. Perhaps not in the ways you expect. Perhaps not immediately. But they are there. And more importantly, you are learning to connect with yourself in a way that does not depend on external validation. This is essential. Because the more you rely on others to confirm what you feel, the more you disconnect from your own knowing. And your own knowing is where your guidance lives. It is where your clarity emerges. It is where your truth resides. Trust it. Even when it is quiet. Even when it does not shout for your attention. Because it will not force itself upon you. It waits. Patiently. For you to listen. And the more you do, the clearer it becomes. The more you follow it, the stronger it grows. Until one day, you realize that what once felt uncertain, now feels natural. What once felt distant, now feels close. What once felt like a mystery, now feels like a remembering. And in that moment, you will understand something that cannot fully be put into words. You will understand that this journey was never about becoming worthy. You were always worthy. It was never about becoming enough. You were always enough. It was about removing everything that made you believe otherwise. Layer by layer. Thought by thought. Belief by belief. Until what remains is something real. Something steady. Something that does not need to prove itself. Something that simply is. And that is where you are being guided. Not toward perfection, but toward truth. Not toward control, but toward trust. Not toward becoming someone else, but toward fully being who you already are. So take a breath. Let this settle within you. You do not need to rush forward. You do not need to grasp everything at once. Simply continue. Step by step. Moment by moment. Awareness by awareness. Because everything you are seeking is already moving toward you, just as you are moving toward it. And the more you allow this unfolding, the more you will begin to see, this was never just a message. It was a doorway. And you have already stepped through it. And now, as you stand beyond that doorway, something within you grows quieter. Not empty, not uncertain, but still. A different kind of stillness than before. Before, silence may have felt like absence, like something was missing, like you were waiting for answers to arrive. But now, this stillness carries a presence. A depth. A subtle fullness that does not demand attention, yet holds everything within it. This is where you begin to understand in a new way. Not through effort. Not through searching. But through being. For so long, you believed that meaning had to be found somewhere outside of you, hidden in the future, waiting in the next achievement, the next realization, the next moment of clarity. But what you are beginning to realize now, is that meaning has always been here. Not as something you must chase, but as something you uncover when you finally become still enough to notice. And this is why everything slowed down for you. Why certain paths paused. Why moments of uncertainty stretched longer than you expected. It was not to delay you. It was to bring you here. To this exact space within yourself, where you can finally see without distortion. Where you can feel without resistance. Where you can begin to recognize the truth that has always been present beneath the noise. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are exactly where you need to be, to see what you are now ready to see. And from this place, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to notice that life is no longer something happening to you. It is something unfolding through you. Every experience, every interaction, every moment, no matter how small, becomes part of a larger flow that you are now aware of. You begin to see connections where there once appeared to be randomness. You begin to feel guidance where there once seemed to be confusion. You begin to trust timing where you once felt impatience. This does not mean everything becomes easy. It means everything becomes meaningful. Even the challenges. Even the moments that test you. Especially those moments. Because now, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this showing me?" And that question changes everything. It opens doors that were once invisible. It reveals lessons that were once hidden beneath frustration. It transforms obstacles into opportunities for deeper understanding. And in this shift, you reclaim something that was never truly lost, but simply forgotten: your participation in your own unfolding. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are an active presence within it. Your awareness shapes your experience. Your attention directs your energy. Your choices influence the path that unfolds before you. This is not a burden. It is a gift. But it is a gift that must be recognized before it can be fully lived. And now, you are beginning to recognize it. Yet even as this recognition deepens, there may still be moments where you feel pulled backward. Moments where old fears resurface. Old habits whisper. Old identities try to reclaim their place. This is natural. Do not mistake their return as failure. They are not returning to take you back. They are returning to be released more completely. Each time they arise, you are given another opportunity, not to fight them, not to suppress them, but to see them clearly and choose differently. And every time you do, their hold weakens. Until one day, you notice they no longer control you in the same way. They may still appear, but they no longer define you. This is freedom. Not the absence of challenge, but the presence of awareness within it. And as this awareness stabilizes within you, something else begins to emerge. A quiet confidence. Not loud. Not forceful. But undeniable. It is the confidence that comes not from knowing everything, but from trusting yourself to navigate whatever arises. It is the confidence that does not need external approval, because it is rooted in something deeper than opinion. It is the confidence that allows you to move forward, even when the path is not fully visible. And this confidence will guide you into new spaces, new experiences, new ways of being that once felt out of reach. Not because they were never possible, but because you were not yet ready to step into them. Now, you are. But readiness does not mean perfection. It means willingness. Willingness to show up as you are. Willingness to learn as you go. Willingness to trust even when certainty is not present. This is what opens the next chapter of your journey. Not a sudden revelation. Not a single defining moment. But a series of choices, aligned with what you now know. And as you continue to choose in this way, something beautiful begins to unfold. You begin to experience life with greater depth. Moments that once passed unnoticed begin to feel significant. Simple things carry a quiet richness. Ordinary experiences reveal extraordinary layers. You find yourself more present, more connected, more aware of the subtle details that once escaped your attention. And in this presence, there is peace. Not a constant, unchanging peace, but a returning peace. A peace you can come back to, again and again, no matter what is happening around you. Because it is not dependent on circumstances. It is rooted within you. This is what you have been moving toward. Not a life without movement, but a center within the movement that remains steady. And from this center, you begin to live differently. You listen more closely. You respond more thoughtfully. You act with greater clarity. Not because you are trying to be perfect, but because you are aligned. And alignment brings simplicity. It removes the unnecessary struggle. It dissolves the need to force what is not meant for you. It allows what is truly yours to come forward more naturally. This does not mean everything you desire will appear instantly. But it does mean that what comes into your life will feel different. More authentic. More resonant. More in harmony with who you are becoming. And as this continues, you will begin to notice something else. A shift not only within you, but in how you relate to others. You may find yourself more patient, more understanding, less reactive. Not because others have changed, but because you have. You begin to see beyond surface behaviors. You recognize that everyone is moving through their own layers, their own challenges, their own process of remembering, just as you are. And this recognition softens you. It does not make you passive. It makes you present. It allows you to engage without losing yourself. To care without becoming overwhelmed. To connect without needing to control. This is balance. And balance is not something you achieve once and hold forever. It is something you return to, again and again. Just like awareness. Just like presence. Just like trust. These are not destinations. They are practices. Living, breathing parts of your experience. And the more you return to them, the more natural they become. Until one day, you realize that what once felt like effort now feels like your way of being. And in that realization, something settles deeply within you. A knowing. Quiet. Steady. Unshakable. You may not be able to explain it fully. You may not have words for it. But you will feel it. And that feeling will be enough. Because it will remind you, without doubt, without question, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Not because everything is finished, but because everything is unfolding as it should. You will see that there was never a single moment wasted. Not a single experience without purpose. Not a single step that did not contribute to where you now stand. Even the confusion. Even the pain. Even the waiting. All of it was part of the path. All of it was shaping you. Guiding you. Preparing you to see, to feel, to understand in the way you do now. And as you stand here, in this awareness, there is nothing you need to chase. Nothing you need to force. Nothing you need to become. There is only this, to continue. To remain open. To stay present. To trust the unfolding. Again and again. Moment by moment. Because the journey does not end here. It deepens. It expands. It continues to reveal itself in ways you cannot yet imagine. But now, you walk it differently. Not searching. But knowing. Not chasing. But allowing. Not questioning your worth. But living from it. And in this shift, you become a quiet light. Not one that demands attention. But one that naturally shines. In the way you speak. In the way you listen. In the way you move through the world. Others may not always understand it. They may not always see it clearly. But they will feel it. Just as you once felt something you could not explain, and it led you here. And so, as this message comes to its close, Understand this final truth: you were never separate from what you were seeking. You were never disconnected from what was guiding you. You were never alone in your becoming. Every step, every question, every moment of awareness has been part of a greater unfolding that is still continuing now, and will continue long after this moment. So go forward, not with all the answers, but with a deeper trust in the unfolding of your path. Go forward, not as someone who has arrived, but as someone who is awake to the journey itself. Go forward, not in search of something more, but in recognition of all that already is. Because this is not the end of a message. It is the beginning.